A teenage girl walks alone down a dusty road through bandit country. She's 14 years old. She's wearing a faded woolen tunic and a linen head covering. Her feet are bare in simple sandals. She has a small bag over her shoulder, a change of clothes, a water skin, maybe a few coins, nothing else. She has been walking for 6 days. The road is empty, or the sun is going down behind the hills. Her name is Mary. She's pregnant, about 3 weeks pregnant, with a child she conceived without a man. An angel told her this would happen 4 days ago. She has not told her parents. She has not told her fiancé, Joseph. She has told nobody. And she is walking 90 miles alone through the hill country of Judea to find the only person on the face of the earth who will believe her. Her Aunt Elizabeth, an old woman who lives in a small village in the hills south of Jerusalem. A woman who was supposed to be barren her whole life. A woman who, according to the angel, is 6 months pregnant against every law of biology. If anyone will understand what just happened to Mary, it is Elizabeth. This is the story of that walk. The 90 miles a pregnant teenager covered alone, and what happened the moment she walked through the door. Chapter 1, verse 39. In those days, Mary arose and went with haste into the hill country, to a town in Judah. With haste. The Greek word is metaspouds. It means urgency, speed, without delay. She left immediately. The angel disappeared. She packed a bag. She walked out of her house. She did not sit down to think about it. She did not ask permission. She went. Why? Because the angel had given her one piece of information that changed everything. He had told her about Elizabeth. Behold, your relative Elizabeth has also conceived a son in her old age. For nothing will be impossible with God. Elizabeth was supposed to be barren. The whole family knew. Women in first-century Israel who could not have children lived with a specific kind of shame. They were seen as cursed, forgotten by God. Elizabeth had carried that shame her entire adult life. And now the angel was telling Mary, your aunt is pregnant, 6 months along. The impossible has already happened. Mary heard that and immediately understood. There is one other woman on earth right now who will believe me. One person who has just lived through her own miracle. One person who will not call me a liar or worse when I tell her what just happened in my room. And Mary went, alone, with haste. Now picture the journey. Nazareth to the hill country of Judea is about 90 miles. The fastest route runs south along the Jordan River Valley, then west into the hills near Jerusalem. On foot, in the 1st century, this is a journey of 4 to 7 days. Most people did not make this journey alone, especially not women, especially not teenage girls. The road was dangerous. Bandits worked the lonely stretches. Caravans of pilgrims traveled together for protection. A young woman walking by herself was a target. Mary walked it anyway. Picture her, small, 14 years old, newly pregnant, already starting to feel the early symptoms, the exhaustion, the nausea, walking through villages where she does not know anyone, sleeping by the side of the road, drinking from streams, eating bread she packed before she left. She has not told her family why she is going. Luke does not record any conversation with her parents. She just leaves. A teenage girl with a secret she cannot speak, walking 90 miles to find the one person who might believe her. She walks for nearly a week, and then, at the end of the 7th day, she sees the village in the hills. The house is at the edge of it. There is smoke rising from the courtyard. Elizabeth is home. Before Mary walks through the door, you need to understand the woman waiting on the other side of it. Elizabeth is old. Luke says both she and her husband Zechariah were well advanced in years. She is probably in her 60s, maybe older. Her husband is a priest. Zechariah served in the Jerusalem temple. They live a quiet, devout life in a small village in the Judean hills. And they have no children. Luke is direct about it. But they had no child because Elizabeth was barren, and both were advanced in years. For an old woman in first century Israel, barrenness was not just a private grief. It was a public shame. Other women whispered. Neighbors assumed God had cursed her. Elizabeth had carried that for her entire adult life. And then, 6 months ago, an angel had appeared to Zechariah while he was burning incense in the temple. The angel told him, "Your wife will have a son. Name him John. He will prepare the way for the Lord." Zechariah did not believe it. He asked for a sign. The angel gave him one. Zechariah was struck mute. He walked out of the temple unable to give the priestly blessing to the people waiting outside. He has not spoken a word since. Subscribe right now if you want to be in the room when Mary arrives. Because what happens when these two women see each other is the most overlooked moment in the New Testament. Picture Elizabeth's life over the 6 months before Mary arrives. Her husband cannot speak. He communicates by writing on small wax tablets. Her ancient body is 6 months pregnant, swollen, exhausted, terrified, joyful, all at the same time. The same neighbors who whispered about her barrenness now whisper about her impossible pregnancy. She has spent 6 months in a kind of holy isolation. Luke says she hid herself for 5 months. She did not go out. She stayed inside the house, alone with a husband who could not talk to her, growing a baby that should not have been possible. Picture her grinding grain by herself, carrying water, praying alone, wondering if she's going crazy, wondering if the angel was real, wondering if her body would survive a pregnancy at her age. She has no one to talk to, no woman in her village who has been through anything like it. And then, one afternoon, she hears footsteps in the courtyard. A young woman's voice calling her name, a voice she recognizes from family gatherings years ago. She goes to the door. Mary stands in the courtyard. She's dusty. Her feet are bleeding inside her sandals. Her hair is coming loose under her head covering. She has been walking for nearly a week. Elizabeth opens the door, and the next sentence is one of the strangest in the entire New Testament. Luke chapter 1, verse 41. When Elizabeth heard the greeting of Mary, the baby leapt in her womb. Stop there, because that is a physical, embodied detail. Elizabeth is 6 months pregnant. Her baby kicks, hard. The kind of kick a pregnant woman feels in her ribs, in her bladder, in her bones. And the moment the baby kicks, Elizabeth knows. She does not need to be told that Mary is pregnant. She does not need to be told who Mary is carrying. Her body knows before her mind catches up. Luke says she was filled with the Holy Spirit. And then she does something no other person in the Bible does. She prophesies in her own kitchen. She looks at the dusty teenage girl standing in her courtyard. A girl most of the world would have called a fornicator if they had known what she was carrying. And Elizabeth speaks the words that the Catholic Church has prayed every day for 2,000 years. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. And why is this granted to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? The mother of my Lord. Elizabeth, an old priest's wife in a small village in the Judean hills, is the first human being on earth to call Mary the Mother of God. Now feel what Mary feels in that doorway. She has been walking for a week with a secret that could get her stoned. She has not told her parents. She has not told Joseph. She has not told anyone what the angel said. She has carried it alone in her body through 90 miles of dust and danger. And the moment she walks into Elizabeth's courtyard, before she even has a chance to speak, Elizabeth knows everything. Elizabeth confirms it. Elizabeth blesses it. Mary's whole body must have collapsed in relief. Somebody believes her. Somebody understands. Somebody has lived through her own impossible pregnancy and is standing in front of her with a swollen belly and tears in her eyes, saying, "Blessed are you." And Mary opens her mouth. And out of her, in that doorway, comes one of the greatest poems in human history. "My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior. For he has looked on the humble estate of his servant. For behold, from now on all generations will call me blessed." The Magnificat. 2,000 years of monks and nuns and ordinary believers have prayed those words every single day at Vespers. They were composed in a doorway by a 14-year-old girl to an old woman who had just confirmed that the angel was real. Luke tells us Mary stayed for 3 months. 3 months. She arrived when Elizabeth was 6 months pregnant. She stayed until John was about to be born. Then she walked the 90 miles back to Nazareth. Picture those 3 months. 2 pregnant women in a small stone house in the hills. One old, one young. They cooked together. They ground grain together. They prayed together. They drew water from the same well. Zechariah was still mute. Imagine the household. A pregnant teenager carrying the Son of God. A pregnant senior carrying the prophet who would prepare his way. A husband who could not speak, writing notes on wax tablets, watching 2 women perform the impossible together in his own kitchen. Mary, who had spent her whole life as a child in someone else's house, became the helper Elizabeth needed at the end of her pregnancy. The girl who had walked 90 miles to find someone who would believe her ended up serving the woman who believed her. And every day for 3 months, the 2 women confirmed each other's miracles. Step back. See what those 3 months did for Mary. She arrived alone, terrified, pregnant with a child she could not explain. She left 3 months later carrying a child she had felt move inside her, having spent 12 weeks with the only other woman on earth who understood what was happening. Elizabeth gave her something no one else could give: confirmation, validation, the lived experience of an older woman who had just survived her own miracle and could say, "It is real. The angel was telling the truth. You are not alone. Your body is doing what God asked it to do." When Mary finally walked back to Nazareth and faced Joseph and her parents, she walked back stronger. Not because the secret was easier, but because she had spent 3 months being believed. And when, 8 months later, she gave birth in a stable in Bethlehem, she gave birth as a woman who had already been told by Elizabeth that the child she was carrying was the Lord. Elizabeth had said it first, 6 months before the angels sang to the shepherds, 3 months before the wise men saw the star. Elizabeth was the first human voice on earth to call Jesus Lord.